Hey, good morning. Yes, it is. It is Thursday, March 27th, 2025. So, what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about finding that sweet spot of where you can become content. I know. This should be good. Stay tuned. Hey, welcome back. Yes, my name is Eric, if you didn't already know it, and this is the weekday, Monday through Friday. Today is Thursday, the 27th of March. So, what are we going to talk about today? It's trying to find that sweet spot of where you can become somewhat content. And I know most people that are do business startups can never find contentment, or at least you wouldn't think so. Because if they did find contentment, they wouldn't push harder, right? Well, what is contentment? How do we define it? How do we measure it? See, I think in life you have three choices. You could take the first choice and complain bitterly all the time about what you don't have. It may be character traits. You know, it's kind of like me. With coming out of a quadruple bypass, I've got a different outlook on life. And what do you mean I have a different outlook? I mean, there's certain things that I can't do anymore. Or at least I can't do now. And there are things that shouldn't make a difference. I have to have somebody do my medications for the month. And that means I have what they call a Mediset, and that is you put in your morning, noon, and night meds, right? And my brain doesn't work that way anymore. I can't understand I get frustrated. And once I'm frustrated, I mean, you guys probably can understand that, then I'm just spent, right? So I've had to ask for help in that department. I also have problems with keeping a thought for conversation. I may be trying to get the point across, but then I lose what the point was in the beginning. Kind of like, telling a joke and then forgetting what the punchline is. I call it kind of like a deer in the headlights. So I started avoiding conversations with other people because I felt very self-conscious of what was happening. Not so much at the shop, because Claude could pick up where I left off. And you wouldn't hardly notice it. You would if you were looking for it, but you wouldn't notice it normally. And in the beginning, I was angry, frustrated, to say the least. And I'm thinking, why the hell is God putting me through this horse shit? Sorry for the word. But that's how I felt. I was angry. And it wasn't until a couple months later, sitting in a quiet room, did it come to me. And what came to me in that quiet room? As I thought about things, I remembered all the people that I had helped in the past that had a lot of the disabilities that I have now. Not once did I think they were stupid, less intelligent, or less than at all. They were my equal. See, what I found with those people, and I shouldn't say those people, but with those individuals, what I found is where they lacked, they overcompensated in other areas that I wish I could. They found enjoyment in things. Their laughter was contagious, is contagious. See, I was given a second chance at life, and not too many people get that. I can't tell you why, but I know I was given a second chance. I was dead on the operating table and someone pulled me back. And I started to think, you know what? You have three choices in life. The first one is you can complain bitterly about everything that's going on in life. You can. It's a choice. The second is you can go aimlessly through life, not really participating. You're just taking up space. Third choice is you start being grateful for what you do have and enjoying it. I'm not saying don't try to better yourself, not even close. But what I'm saying is if you never find enjoyment from the things that you've achieved and been able to have, why are you doing it in the first place? Where am I coming from? I've been to the top of the heap more times than I care to imagine or count. Okay? And when I got to the top of the heap, I wasn't happy. I wasn't satisfied. But looking back, I never took the time also to enjoy my achievements. It was never enough. There was something lacking. And I see this with a lot of people in their lives and in business. They never get to enjoy the fruits of their labor. It's never enough. They sit there and they wish they had $100 and they get $100 and then now they want $1,000. So they get $1,000 and then it's $10,000. It never ends because you never had the chance to enjoy the $100 and what that might have done, or the $1,000 or what that could have done, or the $10,000. You're driven, but you don't know why you're driven, where you're driven. And in the end, when you get older, you're going to look back on life and say, did I waste most of my life? Or did I enjoy the ride? I can tell you for me, I wasted a lot of time of never being happy about anything. I thought happiness was when I conquered things. But I found that it was short-lived. I might enjoy it for a short period of time and then I'm on to the next. When I had a young family with the kids, they were young and we were young, my wife and I. We were successfully running a dairy farm. And I was also working out. And I wanted my kids and my family to have things that I didn't have. Isn't that something we hand down from generation, generation to generation to the point of where our kids are doing nothing? I mean, it seems like it. But we had gotten to the point where we had new vehicles, we had new four-wheelers, we had a lot of things. And I can remember when we first got together, that is what we dreamed about, as being able to afford such things. And now we did. And I wasn't happy. I didn't take time to enjoy the things that I had. I wanted more. Just something to give thought to for you guys. I know a lot of you are a little older like me, but this is even directed at you young guys. If you can get what I'm trying to say right now, you're going to have a great ride. But it's never too late, is what I'm getting at. It's never too late to enjoy. Just sit where it's quiet and think about what you have. I can't help but look back and think of all the things that I gave up for material things. I gave up family functions, weddings, baptismals. I gave up a lot chasing the almighty dollar, thinking that my goal in life was to be the provider, to give my family everything they wanted, when in the end all they really wanted was a husband and a dad. But for me, I thought that would be too easy, right? Some people get it quicker than other people. I can remember working with a fellow, and his name was Jack. And he only had just the one job. He worked security with me. I was a K-9 handler and a trainer. Okay? But he would come in and be relaxed and tell me about his fishing trips that he had been on locally, the bass that he had caught. And my mind is going, well, it would be great to have a brand new bass tracker boat with all the stuff on it, fish finders, all that good old stuff, right? But in order to afford the good old stuff and have everything on that boat, I had to work long hours. I would work extra shifts. I would do double shifts. Take the overtime where I could get it to afford that new boat. And I got it. And I continue working with Jack. And he had an old aluminum boat with an old Evinrude engine on it and a trolling motor that was probably the first production run of a trolling motor. But he'd light his pipe and go out and catch fish every weekend. Had a great time. Me, I had a fancy boat, a fast boat, one that most people would envy. What didn't I have? The time to use it, because I was working my ass off trying to afford it. And I swore up and down that I was going to fish that boat. And there it sat in my garage for a year without being used. As I looked at it, it was a symbol of what I had worked for, right? But in the end, what good is it if I don't get any enjoyment out of it other than conquering and being able to afford it, working long hours? Would the better plan have been if I had more time where I spent with the kids taking them fishing, and maybe half the boat, a used one that was in nice shape, or even Jack's old aluminum boat with the old Evinrude engine, out trolling for walleyes. Hopefully you don't get this message when you're too old. I'm not saying that you're too old to learn and too old to start enjoying things. What I am saying is the sooner you do it, the better. So I'm going to start wrapping this up. But the point that I'm trying to get across is you need to enjoy the fruits of your labor, all right? You don't have to have the best of everything. Your kids, your grandkids, all those, they don't need to have top of the line things. They just need to have time with you. That you can't put a price tag on. Is spending time with them. So on that note, you guys have a great Thursday. Put in the comments what you think of today's, I don't want to say lecture, but it's a wake-up call of having three choices in life. Complain about everything all the time, to just float through time without enjoying anything. Or the third, enjoying what you have and being grateful for what you have. I find 3 is the one for me, in that I'm very grateful for what I have. And I'm very grateful for the people that I have in my life, including you guys. Some people don't have anybody. So on that note, you guys have a great Thursday.